Morning at this time, everyone. I'm sorry I don't sleep, so sometimes I don't know the difference between night and morning. So, yesterday, if I recall properly, I was with Mrs. Toyin Oribo, who came online to tell us that she was with Dr. Sunday Adelaja, and then she suddenly wasn't comfortable anymore with Pastor Sunday. And then I asked her her reasons because she was the person who made me uh, become aware of Pastor Sunday. Only suddenly, I woke up to some text and she was saying some things, and I wasn't too sure about what it was about. So she came on live show with me and was explaining that Pastor Sunday Adelaja is into fraudulent practices and should not be condemning other pastors too. I asked her her reasons, and then she mentioned that Pastor Sunday Adelaja charges people to stay in his house, and whenever there was a service, and then Pastor Sunday Adelaja also made her pay for books that were never delivered, books written by Pastor Adelaja but were never delivered. So I asked whether Pastor Adelaja was also into most of the things Nigerian pastors are usually alleged of, such as being uh, fetish, diabolical, and also whether Pastor Adelaja was also into raping minors. But she said she cannot, in her own experience, tell about all of this. But the few things she said about Pastor Adelaja, we are interested in finding out from Pastor Adelaja. So I have Pastor Adelaja live on the show with me this morning. Pastor Adelaja, how are you? Good morning.
Very good. How are you doing, Chago?
I'm very much alive. It's good to have you.
Thank you.
So quickly, let us begin by asking whether you know Mrs. Toyin and what you know about her, so that we can start on the same page at least.
Yes, first of all, I want to say that I decided to come on today despite all the arguments against me coming on. Many people had told me not to come on because it's not worth it. But I decided to come on for a few reasons. Number one, because I want to break the mindset in Nigeria that once you are a pastor or a GO, you don't step out to do an interview and you don't answer allegations. So when allegations come up, pastors just go into their own shells. They don't come out, they don't defend themselves, they don't speak for themselves. So I want to kind of make a statement about that. And I want to make the statement clear that no, there is no animosity against Ms.
If you have
Toyin.
nothing to hide,
Yeah,
why avoid talking to people?
yeah, that's number one. Number two, I also want to honor you because when you were, I didn't listen to the video, unfortunately, with Ms. Toyin, but people were writing me from everywhere, and they said you had mentioned in your program that you would like to have Pastor Sunday as well, so that I could, say my own part of the story.
Respond to it, yes.
Yeah, which is honorable because a lot of journalists who are paid to do what they are doing, they will not demand for you to come and give your own side of the story. They will just give one part of the story, and that is a sign of justice and objectivity. So, do I know Miss Toyin? Oh yeah, I know her very well. I know her as a great, great human being and a child of God, and one of the kindest human beings you will ever meet, by the way. So I'm full of positive opinions about her. Only I didn't even know she had anything against me until, this video that was done with you. So I thought she's great, and I still think she's great up to now.
Um, one thing is a little, uh, you know, requires us to ask questions here, and that is that first, she alleged that you charge people to stay in your house whenever you have a program, and that she cited an example of somebody called Clayton, if I'm right by that name.
Clayton, yes.
That yes, that you bill them to stay in your house. Although I didn't find anything wrong with if you run an hotel, for instance, a hotel, for instance, or if you run guest houses where people pay to sleep, or if you run I mean, chauffeur business, where people, or transportation business, where you pick people from the airport and they pay for the service. I don't have a problem with all of this. But she said she was shocked that you are a pastor and you are having your people who are coming as a guest to pay for all of these services, even though they were coming to help with your mission or your ministry. And then she felt that it was unjust for you to be speaking against other pastors while you are equally doing almost the same thing. So I need you to quickly respond to that, Pastor.
Okay, very good. First of all, yes, there is a big impression in Nigeria that I'm speaking against pastors, but really, I'm not speaking against pastors. I'm speaking against doctrinal practices that are not scriptural, that are wrong.
By pastors.
Yes, by
in Nigeria.
pastors. I'm speaking against biblical church practices that are not biblical. So that is the difference between what I'm doing. I'm not even touching on their private lives or personal lives or individual matters. I'm only concerned about their doctrines. Okay, so that's that one. So do we charge people who come to visit our place here in Ukraine? First of all, I have a big house, and besides that house, we have a guest house. So this guest house takes care of people who want to come to stay with us, who want to come and live, visit us. If you are coming to visit us,
the guest house beside your house, Pastor?
Sorry?
Who owns the guest house beside
the ministry,
your own house?
our ministry, Embassy of God.
Okay,
Church.
your ministry.
Yes.
Okay.
So Embassy of God, because people, our experience is that people were coming to visit us and they were staying in other hotels before we build this guest house. So why should they be paying hotel when they could stay in the guest house that the church is owning, that the church owns? So, and it is easier for them to get to meet with me than to be staying 1 hour away and be taking taxi every day. So you still need to pay anyway. But then there are cases, maybe this what she's trying to say is that there are other cases where people don't pay. That is when people are coming by my invitation, that they are my personal guest, I pay for them. It's not that they are not paying, no, it's because I am paying for them. There are other cases,
subsidizing for them.
Yes, subsidizing for them. So there's other cases where people don't pay at all. It's because they write me a letter or they write a letter to the ministry and say, I don't have money. Please, can you give us, they say, can we stay free? They are thinking it is free, but somebody has to still pay for that. So I normally tell people, let me pay for it. As we are here right now, there are people staying in our house right now who are not even paying. It is not me. I'm not even aware of how much they up to today as I'm talking now. I don't even know how much who pays. Because it's not, I'm the senior pastor. It's not my business. We have administration of the guest house. We have administration of the house who manage all that. It is just not, it's being run like a normal hotel, like a normal guest house. So I'm not even aware whether that they pay or they don't pay, how much they pay. Only when they write me, then I say, let me pay for people. So they take it from my own subsidy. But it's not that people don't, other people are paying. She herself was paying, I guess. So I don't see anything bad in that because this is a guest house. Even if you don't pay us, but you have to pay somewhere else where you're going to stay. No matter where you stay, you still have to pay. Because this is a different country. You don't have a house here. You don't have an apartment here. So you have to pay. But even if she didn't like the charge that our management was giving, she is a free person now. She could say, I don't want to pay for this or it's too expensive. Other people are doing that. They stay in other places. So what's the problem?
Okay, great. But she was of the opinion that since you preach against the use of church to do businesses like hosting people and having them pay because they believe that Jesus Christ will not charge anybody to use their resources for or their facilities for free, that you were not supposed to also do similar things. So I just need you to quickly respond to that, whether you feel it is wrong for anybody to come up with such suggestion that you cannot do business. You cannot also charge people to use church facilities.
Well, I didn't preach against that. I don't preach against such a thing. I don't preach against church doing business or owning a business. They should, if they have the opportunity to. The only thing I preach about is what happens in Nigeria. And what I see happening in Nigeria is that pastors will gather the money, the offering, tithe and offering and other things from the people, and those same people will be going hungry. Those same people are in need. And when they have a need, they come to the church and write some, application that they are in need. Maybe their son needs to go to school or their wife is sick. And what they are told is, we are praying for you or God will bless you. Whereas the same people so what I'm preaching against is just misuse of offering and tithe by pastors. They use it to build universities and people cannot go to that university. They use it to build their own ministry. So that is what we are talking about. But in a case that a ministry is having a hotel, first of all, she is not even a member of my church. She is not paying tithe and offering here. If she wants to say that, she might be able to. If she had been a member of this church, she would have said, okay, maybe I gave money to build this, and now you charging me to use it. It's a totally different case.
Okay. So I want to understand one thing here. Are you saying if somebody comes to say, yeah, your church built this structure with our offering and donations, and you are charging us to still use it? That is what you preach against. Yes. Am I correct about that summary?
Yeah.
Okay, great. That said, she also alleged that she paid to get your books to be distributed in Nigeria, but that she didn't get those books.
Yes.
Till now. What's your response to that?
Okay. Well, that's, first of all, I write books. My books are available on Kindle Unlimited for free. So anybody that doesn't want to buy my books can read them for free. That's number one. Number two, but most Nigerians always complain that they cannot read for free because this is Kindle Unlimited, it's America, it's Amazon, and Nigerians might not have access and all that. So there is an Igbo man that started a similar project in Nigeria. It's called Bamboo, like bamboo tree, but it's bamboo. Okay, so once you go to that bamboo site, you'll be able to read not just my books, but everybody's books for free. So let's say one book, for example, is costing 1,000 naira. So if for the price of 1,000 naira, you'll be able to subscribe for a year and read like 1,000 books for free. So we also put all my books on that platform so that people in Nigeria who want to just read my books could go and read for free. Now, but then apart from that, we have a publishing house that is responsible for my books. I'm not even responsible for that. Now, let me tell you one thing that will interest you is that the book she's talking about that she bought, I was not even aware until she began to have problems. Because I knew the person she's working with. There is a pastor in Abuja that is called Ifeanyi. That Ifeanyi pastor, I think.
Ifeanyi is it Ogbueli?
Yeah, Ogbueli.
Okay.
Ifeanyi Ogbueli. Yes, so that pastor wrote a testimony to my platform about how his life has changed. I think it's one of the most sincere and one of the most passionate Christian leader in Nigeria right now. He's a new generation pastor. So he wrote a story. It's very, compelling story. When Mrs. Toyin saw that testimony on my platform, she wrote to me and said, I need the contact of that man. Please give me the contact of that man. I want to do some things with him. I want to work with him in Nigeria. So the only thing I did, I instructed one of my assistants, his name is Dr. Anojo, to connect them. I don't deal with all the little things in the ministry. So they connected somehow, one way or the other, but I don't know the rest of the story. So I guess through that connection, they started saying maybe Ogbueli wanted to find some of my books in Nigeria. Maybe he couldn't get, or he wanted to distribute my books. So maybe they reached an agreement. I still don't know the agreement up to now. Probably they reached some agreement that maybe she will send the books over there, and maybe she is also making money from that. So it's a business deal. So that she bought the books here at a discount rate, sending to Nigeria for that Ifeanyi Ogbueli to sell and then pay her back with profit and with interest, which is okay. But then what happened was that the books were sent to Nigeria by our publishers here. But when the 3 books got to Nigeria, but somehow the things that go from this place, it goes to Lagos first before it goes to Abuja because of the plane or something like that. So 2 of those 3 packages got to the man. And the man is alive today. He said he got the books. But he said before the books even arrived, Mrs. Toyin has started fighting with him because of the price. Because Mrs. Toyin wanted him to sell at a certain price. And he is saying, no, I will not sell them at this certain price because it will be too expensive for Nigerians. So they had started quarreling. So by the time those books arrived, she was already not in relationship with Ifeanyi. She had blocked him. So she doesn't even, maybe she doesn't even know up to now that the books arrived. But I wrote her a letter, so she wrote to me to complain and say, she was not complaining against me. She was complaining against Ifeanyi. And said Ifeanyi didn't want to sell the books and things like that. And the books, he said the books had not arrived. Yes, at that point, the books have not arrived. But then I asked, I know about it because I'm not the one in charge. I asked my assistant, and he said, no, the books have already arrived. Actually, 2 of them have arrived. Only 1 is left. And that if I could sell those books and return her money from that one. But because she had fought with him and there is no more contact, and so she now tried to go to police and try to arrest the guy. So that one went to the police, was able to resolve. So the police couldn't do anything against him because he was not defrauding her. She was saying the guy was defrauding him. And that's what she told me too, that the guy was defrauding her, that the guy was defrauding her. When I listened to from Anu, and I even talked to the guy one time, what is the problem? Then I had the story, I wrote her that, go ahead and settle with the guy. Then she said, I'm not going to settle with the guy, I'm going to do through police. So after she fell with the police, then she now wrote to me and said, we should now pay her for the books that she had bought and that she had made arrangement for. I said, but the books are in Nigeria already. Why should I be paying for? Not me, but she was even just asking me to tell our publisher to pay back. Those ones say, no, the books already, some of them have even been sold already. So there is no discussion about that. I mean, it's past tense.
So as far as the book issue is concerned, the woman just needs to reach out to Pastor Ifeanyi and resolve with the money.
Issue,
It has nothing to do with you.
No,
sorry to take you just one step backwards. I just wanted to know the hotel issue, that the guest house you have beside your house where people pay to stay. Does the money, you said you don't know anything about it, you are not the person in charge, but does the money return to the ministry and do they account to you?
Yeah, the money actually is, the payment they are doing is actually hugely subsidized. It's returned to the ministry to take care of the hotel itself. People who are working in the hotel have to be paid. The cooks have to be paid. The cleaners have to be paid. The materials they have to be taken. It's just to maintain itself, basically. And it's the ministry.
So it's not as if the money comes to you at the end of the day.
No. I mean, I still even subsidize it.
Okay. But the last part of the, I think there are 2 more. She also alleged that sometimes you try to tip people off who were either with some pastors before, you try to use them to get information so that you can discredit other pastors using their secrets. I mean, how many pastors in Nigeria have you had their estranged disciples or followers give you their secrets? And how do you use this information to speak against their doctrinal practices?
I'm very heartbroken to hear that. How could, anybody that knows me will even think that is outrageous. To go and be paying people to speak against fellow minister? No, that is just
like
horrific.
For instance, if somebody was with Pastor XYZ before, and then that person is no longer with that Pastor XYZ, you try to draw them closer and use them to get information about the Pastor XYZ so that you could use that to speak against them.
That is very ridiculous. First of all, I never did that. Never. Before God and man. God is my witness. Number 2, I never paid a human being to come and speak for me. Even our platform here is not paid. We don't pay anybody to come and speak. And I never wrote somebody or call somebody to solicitate for them to come and speak. They are the ones who write me and ask for platform. It's just like you now. You are a journalist, right? You have a platform. How many people have you written to come and, and pay, that you are going to pay them to come and take interview? It's a privilege for them to have a platform. And I have a platform that people is being watched in 110 countries. And we have over 5 million people watching. So it is people who ask, they come and beg to come and speak. And it is even not all of them that will take. So how can I don't even have a church in Nigeria. What is my gain and interest to come, to go all over Nigeria? I'm living here in Ukraine, have church here in Ukraine. I'm not paying people here in Ukraine so that they will talk against other churches, so that people will come to my church. I will be going to Nigeria where I don't have church, where I don't have branch, where I don't have anything, to be paying people. What is my gain? And even those same people I will pay, they will not come to my church. What is the benefit in that?
Okay, so, but do you sometimes have situations where you pay people to do stuff for you at all? Because this is an unfolding information, and we are still just looking at them, even though most people don't necessarily have interest in how they turn out to be. But people just want to know whether most of the things said are true. Are there instances where you pay people to do one thing or other for you?
No, I only pay people if they do work for me. Let's say they are, working for me as editors, or they are working for me. If they are doing some work, job. If they have a job that they are doing for me,
they should be paid if they are working.
They should be paid, so they get paid for their work. But there are people, a lot of people I pay for who never come to my platform to do anything, but I just pay for them because I get 300 letters every week from Nigeria asking for one money or the other. So I pay for those people, but they don't come to the platform. They are people that nobody knows about.
Okay, I don't know how to place this particular one, but then it was also alleged that you are a little diabolical, that you manipulate people and you collect money from them. That a lot of people, after paying you for sometimes, whether for your guest house or to come to one event or the other, they later realized that they were not really too sure whether they took the decisions by themselves. I mean, how is your spiritual life? How do you do it?
Can you imagine? I am a Nigerian born person. I have such a huge diabolical power that made me to build the largest church in Europe. If I have such a diabolical power, every Nigerian should go to my village or wherever to get that kind of diabolical power. I mean, can you imagine? You have the largest diabolical power that catches white men. And we know that all our diabolical grandfathers in Nigeria, all of them, when the white men came, they all fell on their face. Their diabolical power couldn't stop white men. I'm an Ijebu man. And Ijebu is the last part of Nigeria that was colonized. And the way it was colonized was because the British people came with their army and struck us down. That's how. But all the diabolical power of Ijebu people couldn't stop the white people. So even the Benin people, they excel. I mean, they sent to exile their king, despite their biological the power they have. Witchcraft don't catch white people. White people don't recognize that kind of talk. That kind of talk will only be spoken to black people, to manipulate them. Somebody diabolical. So it's through diabolicalism that I came here when I was 19 years old. And I've been living here since 19. I don't even have that mindset again. If you go to listen to my videos on YouTube, I am the one calling and challenging Nigerian pastors. And not just Nigerian pastors, even Nigerian societies about all this diabolical stuff. I am the one calling them out. Now to turn around and say that I am diabolical, okay, go and use diabolical power about white people now. Go to London and get white people to come to your church through diabolical power. It doesn't work. So the diabolical power they are talking about is the power of the Holy Spirit.
Okay, just as a follow-up to that, there was a time we learned that we were banned in Ukraine by the Ukrainian government, or was it the Brazilian government? You were banned in one country at some time over allegations by citizens of their country that you were doing some things that were untoward. Excuse me. What led to that ban, and how do you respond to the allegations by their own citizens to have how their government eventually banned you from running your church? And how is your church as we speak right now?
But I hope she didn't tell you that I don't have a church, because there are a lot of, that is a story I don't believe is coming from her, because she has really been here. I think the people who are telling that kind of story are people who have not been here. That is the story we hear from Nigeria. What we hear from Nigeria is that Pastor Sunday has been banned in Ukraine, and he doesn't have a church anymore. His church has been taken, and his church has been disbanded. But Toyin herself came to my church, and if she says that, I will produce the video of her standing on the stage of our church, and she saw all white people. So all those lies that Nigerian press and Nigerian Christians have been circulating after I started calling out their GOs and the bishops, it cannot hold any ground, because you can produce videos of our services. As I'm talking right now, there is a church service going on from our church. So I'm not banned from preaching in Ukraine. There is a dispute and a court case that I have with the Ukrainian government, but that doesn't mean that I'm banned in Ukraine. I'm living in Ukraine right now. You know, if I'm banned in Ukraine, I will not be here. I'm talking from my house right in Ukraine every day on television, on live broadcast. So it's a misconception. It's just some propaganda.
Okay. This conversation will definitely continue at some point, but before we go on this particular edition, I'd like to ask I noticed that because she was the first person who made me started giving attention to your broadcast, and at that time I noticed that it was towards the election, and towards that election you were supporting President Muhammadu Buhari, and then you were so sure, and then so I want to know how impressed you are right now about President Muhammadu Buhari, because I noticed that a lot of people who are watching the live show are also interested in that.
Okay, before I go into that, she had mentioned one person you call Clayton, right? A Brazilian person that came to my house. So that Clayton is a common friend of ours. So, now it's a common friend of mine and hers. But what happened was that I was invited to visit Brazil. Miss Tony heard about that. She was with me that time in my house, and she also offered to go with me, which I was very glad about. So she flew from England to meet me in Brazil, but she had flown there to be there a few days before I came. So while they were there, and my team, I also had people from Ukraine who had flown there. So while they were there, before I came, they had met this man who also is from England. Maybe they even flew in the same flight, I think. So they knew one another before they are from the same country. So after I arrived, the guy, I think, was the same day I came. I think he had left or something like that. I didn't get to meet him while I was there in Brazil so much. Maybe I just saw him in passing, but I didn't get to really meet him in person to talk. So, but they had been friends with Miss Tony and with my team. So they were all telling me about this Clayton. So after we left Brazil and came back here, and Miss Tony had been here before then, a year before. She came from England and said, I want to come and celebrate my birthday in Ukraine. So she celebrated her birthday here, not in my house, but she rented a restaurant. So she couldn't complain about that because I didn't own the restaurant. And she paid and invited people that she wanted, and she did her birthday there. So while she had been friendly with this Clayton, after they left Brazil, they came together in England, I didn't know that Miss Tony had proposed to the man that, come and see the video. She did a video of her birthday in Ukraine and showed to the man and said that Ukraine is the best place for you to celebrate your birthday. Let's go. I didn't know about that. I didn't know who knew the man at this point. So only one time, about a week or so before they came, my wife came to me and said, Miss Tony wants to come to visit us again, but she's coming not alone. She's coming with a Brazilian man. And they want to come and celebrate their birthday here. Fine and good. Why not? So when you are coming to celebrate your birthday, you didn't inform me. You didn't say maybe you don't have money. Maybe we should pay for you or something. It's your own expenses, your own plan. I don't know what you planned. But then I was invited to the birthday, and it was a restaurant as well. So it was during that birthday, one of our assistants came to me and said, Pastor, they don't have money. They don't have enough money. Please, can you? So I had to pay for half of the money for the birthday celebration myself. But then I thought they were going to be grateful. Then they left here, and Miss Tony was writing my wife and saying that she was the one who paid for half of the other half of the celebration of that man's birthday, and that can we return to her. So I was saying, she invited a friend. How come I will be paying for that? And she didn't even tell me ahead of time that he doesn't have money. So My wife now, I told my wife, tell her to ask the man. The man is a rich man. The man is a millionaire. Let the man himself pay for his stay now. I think it was not convenient for her. I think maybe she was saying it was not convenient for her because we are the host, so we are supposed to pay. I said, I've already paid for half of the expenses now. So that is the story. You wanted to hear about that
one. Okay, so let us now go back to Buhari. How impressed are you about, because a lot of people seem to be interested in that. They are asking this question. I mean, live viewers are asking this question. How impressed are you about President Buhari's performance so far? You supported him for the second time. All, this is unconnected with the main topic of the day, but people are asking because live viewers, it's a live interaction, and they're asking that question.
No problem. Now, first of all, I will say that during the campaign, I gave my platform to a lot of presidential candidates to come and speak on my platform and and I didn't take money from them, by the way. One of them was Sowore. So Sowore was one of the people who came to be interviewed by me. There were many others. I mean, there were about 20 of them that came to my platform to speak. Now, but why did I eventually settle for Buhari? Because it got...
Sorry, who are others? You only mentioned Sowore.
Yes, there was Sowore. There was this... Can you people... Huh? Mogalu. And is it Kingsley Mogalu was there. There was this other... Fashua. Tokwe Fashua. Tokwe Fashua was there. There were two ladies. The one was a professor.
Eunice Atuejide.
Huh?
Eunice Atuejide.
Yes, Eunice Atuejide was one of them. She also came to speak.
There was Obieze. Was she with you?
No. Another one was a professor like that. She had run before.
Shonaya?
Yeah. That one.
Okay.
That one is another one.
And then another young presidential candidate I know is
Ahmed Buhari or some. Is it Ahmed Buhari?
Ahmed Buhari.
Yes. We had that one too.
Fela Durotoye, did you have him too?
No, we didn't have him.
Okay.
Then there were some others.
Let's just progress. Yes.
Okay.
How you resolved at Buhari?
Yeah. So
again,
anyway,
for the second time.
Yeah. So we had all these youngsters who were running, and I was talking with Sowore about him collaborating with other youngsters and to have a common front.
You have mentioned Sowore. I noticed you have mentioned Sowore up to 3-4
because
times.
it's my friend. It's my friend. He was my favorite. It was my favorite. Okay. I really wanted him to be the one that will be... No, that was my secret desire. I didn't say that public. But I was saying, could you get everybody to come together so that, somebody could emerge, even if it's not you, but let somebody emerge. So then, all kind of things was happening that time, and it happened that, anyway, the coalition didn't work out the way we wanted it. And I discovered that, hey, the way this thing is going, none of those young men, since they couldn't come together, none of them was going to win on their own. The only two people who stood a chance of winning was either Atiku or Buhari. Only those two people stood a chance. Only two of them. And I know that to vote for any other person is a waste of your vote. They will not make it. I mean, it was very sure. So that's why I said, instead of voting for Atiku, I would rather support Buhari to stay again. And up to today, I still don't regret that decision.
Somebody wants to know, did you also have President Buhari at the time on your show?
No, he was not invited. He was not,
You did not invite him, but then you supported him.
We didn't invite him.
You did not have him, but then you supported him.
Yes, I supported him when I found out that all the young lads, they are not going to make it because on the two front runners were Atiku and I didn't invite Atiku too. So Atiku and Buhari. And the reason is because I knew of the case that Atiku was having in his past and his biography politically. I know that it will be the worst thing that will happen for Nigeria if Atiku wins. So I said, instead of supporting Atiku, I would rather support Buhari. Because I had supported Buhari before in 2015. And, I was hoping that, okay, maybe he needed more time. And so the question that you are asking is, am I satisfied now with his performance? Yes. No, I am not satisfied. And, I am always calling him out. If you follow my YouTube channel, you will see that I have several videos. But I am not calling him out because I'm a political opponent. I am calling him out as an adherent of his, as a follower of his, because I think that Buhari is still better than Atiku. And that's why I made the choice, and I still don't regret that choice, but that doesn't mean that I shouldn't criticize him. So when he's underperforming, I think it's my obligation and my duty as a citizen to call him out. And I'm doing that on a regular basis.
So somebody wanted to know when the next time you'll be coming to Nigeria.
Ooh, next time I will be coming to Nigeria. I'm not going to be in a hurry. I have called too many pastors out, and I know too many people are looking for my head. And I'm not going to be in a hurry. That's why all the stories and things are coming out against me.
But the Holy Spirit is your protection. Why would you be afraid of any pastor?
Yeah, that's why. Because the Holy Spirit is my protection, I've got to follow the leading of the Holy Spirit. So I will not be in a hurry until I have the release of the Holy Spirit to come. I will not.
Okay, so what's your pardon message? I think somebody asked the question again, and I'm trying to find that question again because it's scrolled past already. Let me see if I can find it again. Okay, all right. So,
what is it about?
I mean,
do you remember the topic of the question?
Yes, but I'm trying to. I want to be careful not to ask it in a very devastating. I mean, in a very destructive way, so that I don't misinterpret what somebody was looking for. All right, now, so if you have many pastors in Nigeria that you're not satisfied with the way they practice the doctrines, which one at least can you say, okay, this one is on the right path? I mean, it's not possible that everybody is doing it badly.
Yes, I will say I can mention a few people. There are people like Sam Adeyemi. I think he's doing very well, and I think he's truthful. There is a Bishop Abraham Olaleye. I think he's truthful. There is Wale Adefarasi. Wale Adefarasi is another one that I think is a great
Okay, Wale
pastor.
is different from Paul?
No. Wale is different from Paul, yes. Wale is the senior brother to Paul Adefarasi.
Okay. And they run different churches?
They run different churches,
okay.
Yes.
Okay.
The Efiayi Ubuefi, the one you mentioned is another one in Abuja. Edwin Amimi is another one in Abuja. Israel Good News Balogun is another one in Lagos. You know, there are people all over the place that are doing, whenever anything happens, Bible always say we have remnants. So I'm sure we have remnants. Doris Ngere is another one in Port Harcourt. You know, I could keep on mentioning all over the place. There are people who are doing a good job in Nigeria as well.
Well, somebody wanted to know how you felt about how Buhari treated Sowore. I mean, in his days of incarceration.
Well, I don't think that is Buhari as per se. I think it's the judicial system. And maybe Buhari has to do with it, I don't know. But that's a case in court. Let the court system iron that out. If the court system
the court is the court.
Yeah, because you don't comment a case that is in court. You need to let the judicial system run its course.
But personally, you are not giving a verdict here. It's just your opinion, what you think about it.
Yeah, I've done a video release about that, about the fact that I feel that there are people who are worse criminals in Nigeria than Sowore, and Sowore is not, I don't think that he's guilty of what he's been accused of. That's my own personal opinion. But also, I also know that Sowore himself has committed a lot of blunders in the way he was trying to carry out his revolution. The way he was trying to carry out his revolution needed to be more systemic, needed to be more organized, needed to be more structured, so that it's not just based on pronouncements. And I think that people took advantage of his blunders to bring that lawsuit against him. But I don't believe he's actually guilty of that. Personally, that's my own opinion.
So you don't believe Sowore is guilty of all the allegations leveled against him by the Nigerian government?
Maybe not all, yeah. I think that Sowore is one of the best people that we have in the country. He's the future of Nigeria and Nigerian youth. People like that are people that we need in Nigeria. I personally would like him to be the head of EFCC if possible. So I would not, support that.
And who would you like to be the president?
When they were trying to reach an agreement, when they were trying to reach a coalition, I read the book and the program of Kingsley Moghalu. I think Kingsley would have been a better manager of the economy than Sowore, but I think Sowore has the passion and the zeal to carry out reforms much more than Kingsley. So if Sowore could be president, that would be great. But if he cannot be president, then at least Kingsley could manage the economy. One of the two. Those two ones really impressed me. The two of them. I think the two of them working together could have really been good for the country.
All right, since you already have a number of pastors that you feel are doing greatly in the country, it makes a lot of sense to many people who are also tired of, faith ministries in Nigeria, at least that there are alternatives there. I think this conversation will continue at some point. And then I want to thank you for coming up on the show so far. I want to appreciate but somebody was asking the other time, somebody said, you said you don't respond to little things, you have assistants who do them. And then the person was asking to know what little things are in the ministry. Can you identify what are little things so that other people who want to engage with the ministry in future will know that anytime so and so thing is mentioned, it is not you they are dealing with directly?
Well, first of all, I respond to all my emails personally. I respond to all the communication. Everybody that writes to me, if they write to me on my email or they write to me on my Facebook, I respond to them personally, individually. So I don't see any person's individual request as little. Now, when it comes to coming on this program, I didn't want to come on myself because also all of my followers were saying you don't need to go. Don't go so low to defend yourself. So that's why I didn't watch the video recording you did with the lady. And I said, okay, maybe I could send one of my assistants who watched the video and who knows about the case and who was involved with the situation to come and talk. But I gave you the option. I gave you, to choose. Would you like me to come or for my assistant to come? So I discovered that, well, it would be good for me myself to come. So I told those people, don't worry. I don't need to even watch the video. I'll just go and tell what I know. So little things are things that are distracting.
But did they revert to you after watching the video to tell you specific things? Did they revert to you? Did they revert back to you?
Oh, yeah. Everybody, okay, but people revert to me about different things, So many people wrote to me to revert to me.
So they already prepared you?
Yes, yeah.
All right. Yes. So I was going to ask something on that note. Do you know that a lot of people who come to your ministry or to have any association or anything to do with your ministry did so because of you, not because of your assistants? So what do you think about taking responsibility of whatever happened between those people and the assistants you refer or you link them up with?
Yes,
I take talking about responsibility.
I definitely take responsibility, and that's why I'm sitting here today. Even though I didn't know how Ms. Toyin came across buying the books and who she paid, and when she paid, how much she paid, I don't even know about these things. And I don't even know who made the arrangement and all that. But because it's still under my own umbrella as a ministry, I'm coming to talk. So,
but she said she sent the information to you.
Yes, she did.
Yes.
But when she did. And I wrote her several emails. After I spoke to that Ifeanyi, I wrote to her that the man has collected the money already. The book. So will you go and talk to her? She said, no, I've blocked him. Will you go and talk to him? She said, no, I've blocked him. So anytime she wrote me, when she wrote me about Clayton, I wrote back to her. And I told her that, but I've paid for half of his expenses. So why don't you ask the man himself to pay? Or you yourself, you are the one who invited him here. Why don't you pay? So I always reply to all my emails.
All right, this conversation will continue, and then we'll continue to keep an eye on this matter. I didn't really believe it should degenerate up to this extent, but then it's already here, and then we just needed to keep an eye on it. This is a point in time in Nigeria where all Nigerians are particularly concerned about Nigerian Christendom, the church, pastors, atrocities, scandals, and the rest of them. That is why most times when things like this come up, we try to always look for a way to clear the air or to balance the information, or to investigate and figure out what's brought about the scandal. And if the scandal is true, to report it, objectively. So at
Yes,
least
yes.
I
I
want to
believe in
appreciate you
that
that
too. That's what
you
I've
made the
been
time out
doing.
to come on air to clear the air. I want to
Yes.
appreciate you once again.
Yes, that's what I've been doing, and I've been busy. If you follow the internet and social media, you will see I'm one of the most vocal person against the atrocities in the church. And the reason I'm doing that is because a lot of children of pastors or a lot of people who are youth in church, and yeah, a lot of people who used to be Christians before, they are becoming atheists now. A lot of people are turning away from the church. And because of the practice, because I still believe that what is being practiced in Nigeria, in general terms, is not Christianity. I've lived in Europe for 35 years. I've seen the different kind of church. What we have in Nigeria is not Christianity. It is paganism, or at best, syncretism. So that's why I'm trying to talk to my fellow pastors and colleagues, because it is one thing for somebody from outside of the Christendom to come and be talking about them, and they will say, oh, you are unbeliever, you are secular, you are this. But I am one of them. I used to be friendly with Adeboye, Oyedepo, all of them. Anybody in Nigeria, mention them. I've been with them, I've been preached for them, I've been in their homes. So for me to come out and talk like this, because I know what I'm talking about, and I'm one of them, I'm their colleague. And I don't hate the church. I love the church in Nigeria. But I'm trying to make the eyes of our people to open to the wrong practices, and so that we'll know that what we are calling church in Nigeria, please, you have not discovered the church. Once you know the church, you will fall in love with the church. The church in Nigeria is presenting a wrong gospel. Once you know God, real Christ, it will be successful in Nigeria, just like it has been successful with us here in Ukraine. 99% of our church here is white Europeans, and not just in Ukraine, but in 50 other countries of the world, white people. And so I know that the gospel works, but the reason it's creating that kind of problem in Nigeria is because of the wrong gospel that our people, it's mammon gospel, it's a prosperity gospel, it's the wrong gospel, and that's our problem in Nigeria.
Okay, let's close it. When I was closing with Miss Tony, I asked whether she tried to reach out to you to resolve this matter. And then I'm going to put the same question to you. Have you tried to reach out to her, and will you reach out to her maybe perhaps after this interview to see if you could find the common ground?
Well, I don't know if she's interested. I'm the one who wrote her last. She didn't reply to my last letter to her. And I love her dearly. Like I said, I think she's suffering from disillusionment and from helping a lot of people, and then those people not performing to our level or to our expectation. And I think she's the kindest person you ever meet. I love her with all my heart. And I didn't even know she had anything against me. I thought she only had these issues with all these different people. And so maybe she's making me to be responsible because she met them on my platform. Well, maybe that's why I came also to talk about it. But I love her. I will be willing, not just to write to her, reach out to her. I'll be willing to meet with her, sit down at the table again, and have a good deliberation with her.
All right, thank you so much for your time. I'm sure that we'll keep this relationship talking more about other things, the church, the beliefs, and how they affect the minds of the society at large. We'll get somewhere with all of this at some point. But this is the topic for today, and then we needed to let it rest here for now. Thank you so much once again for your time, and then I hope that when I call upon you again, we'll be able to have conversations further on other topics that are also pertaining to public consciousness and citizenship and national development. I want to thank you once again for coming on the show.
Thank you so much. My pleasure.
Bye for now.